All right, cards on the table here. I actually think Roman Reigns is pretty good. Like, he's not the second coming, and he probably hasn't deserved the relentless top-level push he's had over the last few years, but yeah, the guy can definitely wrestle. I mean, just off the top of my head, I can remember him having great matches with Styles, with Strowman, with Rusev, with Cena, but it's that last name which I really think is the source of most of his problems. You see, for their business model to work the way they want it to, WWE need a superhero-like character who always overcomes the odds, and they really, really want that to be Reigns. Believe that. Vince and co. believe that he isn't getting over in this role because he still needs more time for his character to connect with the core audience, but in truth it's this Cena light in-ring approach that's causing him all the issues. I mean, it's been 3 years since they started this experiment now, and he still hasn't adapted his style to fit this character. I'm What Culture's Adam Cleary, and these are 7 in-ring habits Roman Reigns needs to change.
Number 7. Over-exuberance. This is a picture of Roman Reigns delivering a sit-out powerbomb to AJ Styles at Extreme Rules 2016. Almost 2 years on from channeling the spirit of those guys from that fucking Budweiser advert in '99, Reigns is still using the same over-the-top facials during matches to sell a victory. Now, yes, having a pop at someone in pro wrestling for being OTT seems stupid, and it is, but there's a time and a place for such merriment. It shouldn't be happening towards the end of a grueling 20-minute match. Take Styles, for example. When was the last time you saw him getting a near fall by phoning in the beers? It's never, by the way. I'm not saying Roman needs to stop acting this way completely, he just has to pick the correct moments to break out the wacky expressions. Right now, he does them way too often, and he just looks like, well, like a total knob, basically. Number 6. Playing babyface despite thunderous boos. Now, it definitely wasn't the plan, but it shouldn't be lost on anyone that feuding with Roman Reigns has helped turn Braun Strowman into Raw's most popular babyface. To WWE, Reigns was a hero for standing up to a monster, but fans just really liked watching Braun hammer his face in. At no point did Reigns readjust his in-ring work to match that fan response. Even when he was being booed out of the building against Strowman, Reigns continued to pretend like the world wanted him to win and overcome the beast. Just look at The Rock versus Hogan at WrestleMania. The crowd were firmly behind Hogan despite the match layout calling for him to play heel. Instead of fighting this, Rock went with it, fed that excitement, and played his part in giving fans the match they wanted to see. Nowadays, wrestling fans are smart enough to appreciate that. Number 5. Those awful rest holds. In the year of our Lord 2018, rest holds have become little more in WWE than link spots between live television and commercial breaks. When watching Raw, it's very obvious that you've missed precisely nothing when cameras come back from the break and you're in Chinlock City. While he is absolutely not the worst offender here, Reigns is guilty of demonstrating how pointless these holds can be and rarely makes an effort to squeeze or sell the thing. I mean, look at the absolute state of this. He looks like he's about to give Cena a goddamn noogie. Just clinch the thing in properly when you're giving it and actually sell them when you're receiving. Number 4. Working long matches with a limited moveset. Roman Reigns versus The Undertaker was 23 minutes long at WrestleMania. Goldberg versus Lesnar was less than 5. They probably both contained the same amount of actual wrestling moves, and I know which one I enjoyed more. Look, as the headliner, it probably had to be that length, but when 90% of his offense is punches and kicks, he needs to be protected better. What's that old Paul Heyman quote? Accentuate the strengths and hide the weaknesses? WWE should keep that in mind. Too long didn't read? Well, there's nothing wrong with the strike style, it's incredible when it's done right, but Reigns' current skill set needs to be kept in 10 to 15 minute matches. Number 3. Superhuman recoveries. The key to any great babyface is selling. Just look at me here, taking this slap from Joe Hendry like he shattered both my jaw and my heart in one go. Incredible. But Reigns, just like John Cena before him, forgoes this pesky selling idea in favour of the old Hulk Hogan approach. Opponents can abuse his limbs all they like. When it comes time for that comeback spot, Reigns is on fire and acts like he's just spent the previous 20 minutes chilling out rather than having the unholy hell beaten out of him. That's problematic as it doesn't garner sympathy. It certainly doesn't build anticipation for the comeback when fans know heels can thump Roman all they like without having any effect. This superhuman trait is a hangover from WWE's attempt to make Reigns a new Cena, and it simply must go if he's to ever have any hope of being as over as a babyface as, well, me. Number 2, smiling mid-match. Somehow, Roman Reigns is still smiling during his matches. Not before, not after, but actually during the portion of his performance that's supposed to, look like a fight. Sometimes this works out. I mean, we've seen on Raw lately that he revels in beating the tar out of Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas, but they're not on his level. The problems come when Reigns does it in matches against other headliners or wrestlers WWE want to present as his equal. It happened against Samoa Joe, it happened against John Cena, and it even happened against Brock Lesnar of all people. Quite why Roman feels the need to flash a sly grin smack bang in the middle of tough matches opposite world-class foes is anybody's guess. Number 1, the Superman Punch. The Superman Punch is a dubious enough signature move without Reigns busting it out a few times every single match. By now, wrestling fans have been exposed to almost everything, so a jumping right hook isn't going to cut it unless you're some kind of 8-foot giant and flying is your gimmick. Think of it this way, Braun Strowman walked away from an ambulance crash without aid at Great Balls of Fire last year. Yet, we're expected to believe that Roman taking a quick hop up and putting one on his chin is gonna drop him like a sack of tatties. I don't think so. Plus, that way he builds up to it with the shotgun loading tossing off of his own arm is just dreadful. The whole thing needs to go, if only to spare us from the way Michael Cole always calls it.
Prince Amin! Prince Amin has woken up! Oh God, there's Jurn Simmons! Jurn Simmons takes out Kid! The enforcer of the congregation strikes again.
Well, would you look at that? You got all the way to the end of the video and your mother said you'd amount to nothing. What are the chances? While you're here, why not watch one of our other many possibly quite good channels, or watch another video which will be largely in the same vein as the quality content you've just endured. Go on then.